Finally recovered, so I'd be crucified if I didn't make this video, and it's time to finally do it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Microphone's on, just wanted to check there. And today we're going to be recapping the game, which is now long done. The dust has settled. The 10 in a row has been accomplished. Not the 10 in a row, but the 10 in a row. We have done it. We have won 10 competitive, consecutive trophies in a row. The League Cup was won yesterday at Hampden as Celtic beat Rangers yet again in a 1-0 triumph, in which was not the prettiest game of football you're going to see. In fact, it was a horrible game. Celtic, you could use the word lucky around it, but at the end of the day, we are champions, and that was a champion's performance. We got the job done, we got it over the line, and it might have been through a lot of help from our goalkeeper and Fraser Forster, but the end of the day, we won the game. And when it comes to a cup final, I've said this many times on the channel, and let me just reiterate one more time for those at the back who cannot hear. It doesn't matter how you win in a cup final. It matters that you win. That is what matters at the end of the day. Don't care how you do it. See, if we scored with our only shot in the game in the 96th minute after bombardment of Rangers, wouldn't give a toss. We won the cup. And that applies the other way. If Rangers won in the manner that Celtic did yesterday, would they be giving a shit? No, they would not. They would not be. Not at all, in fact. So, I am not bothered about how Celtic performed yesterday. What I'm bothered about is the fact that we did manage to add another trophy to what has been a fantastic, 8 years, you could say. More specifically, the last 4 years, 10 trophies in a row since, we started collecting them 4 years ago. So, do you know what? Hats off to Neil Lennon, hats off to the team yesterday. Fantastic performance. Not on the pitch, but fantastic performance, over these last 4 years, and over the last, 6 months to start off this season. The start of this season has been unbelievable, so I do want to start off the video with saying that. But let's get another thing addressed before we move on any further and talking about the match. I can already tell the Rangers fans here watching the video, they want to see what I say about the game, they want to hear my opinions on the offside goal, they want to hear my opinions on the referee's decisions and blah blah blah. And I can tell you right now, because I've already had plenty of it on Twitter, and already passed plenty of it on Twitter, that there is going to be a lot of comments about Celtic cheating. Think very wisely when typing those comments, Rangers fans, and think how your club got to the position they found themselves in 2012. Through that word, cheating. So don't bring up Celtic's usual cheating, because it's non-existent. And I think it is on the other way. I try and make my videos very unbiasedly. I make my videos trying to be as impartial as possible, giving credit to Rangers and such, and I will give all the credit that Rangers deserve for the chances they created yesterday, but we'll come on to that as well. But enough with the cheating part, because it's non-existent. Let's just leave it at that. So, Celtic starting off the game, we go into it, and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Our fancies today, I think, will be great, but we were not great. We were not at all, in fact. And Rangers really did pile on the pressure from the start to the finish of the game, forcing Fraser Forster to have probably the second biggest performance of his life after that night against Barcelona, with, saving everything, putting in slide tackles, miraculously pulling off, wonder saves that, only a man like him, a man of his stature, and could do. He's a terrific goalkeeper, and it makes you wonder why Southampton did gift him back to us and why he's not playing for them. But I'm not complaining, and hopefully we'll see him permanently at Celtic next season as well. But throughout the game, we didn't show any creativity. We really did go in with a team that was going to struggle. We didn't have a proper centre forward in the park. Going forward, it wasn't going to be easy. Rangers did look as though they were having things sorted out, especially in the middle of the park. They looked quite strong. And really it was about us defensively, keeping things together and making sure we didn't leak out too much to them, considering we couldn't get forward. The only kind of outlet after what I've seen on the park, the only sort of player who got into the game a little bit in the outfield was Jeremy Frimpong until he got sent off, which we'll also come on to. But I thought he was the only one who looked kind of alive in the game, the only one who was really offering anything. I think Rangers neglected his presence in the park. Don't know if that comes down to his size or his inexperience, but he always found himself in a lot of space, and he was really taking them on. Defensively and offensively, he was looking really strong up until he got sent off. Which was a big changing point for the game, and this is where the main argument comes in about the quality between Celtic and between Rangers. And before I piss off the majority of Rangers fans watching this video, let me see this one more time as well. Rangers have improved under Steven Gerrard, yes, not deny it, but they are still so far away from Celtic. Right, and I hope I'm not eating my words for the end of the season. You've got time to change that. You've got a January transfer window to change that as well. So there is still a lot to happen before, you know, we're talking about league titles going anywhere. If it's going to end up in Parkhead, if it's going to end up in Govan, there's still a lot of conversation to go on in between now and then. But still, if Rangers cannot turn up to Hampden on one of their biggest games of the season, their biggest game since 2011 probably, if they cannot turn up in that game and beat Celtic, who haven't got a fully fit side in the park, who play their worst football in a cup final easily over the past 4 years, and their worst football of the season, and when they are down to 10 men, they are still far away from Celtic. And I don't care how much Rangers fans or Steven Gerrard might say, oh, but the performance proves we're just as good as yous, we should have beat yous. No, that's not how it works. If you can't take your chances, if you can't score into us, and you can't be the ones walking away with a Betfred Cup at the end of the game, then it makes no difference. Celtic played like champions yesterday because they got the job done. And you might bring up this offside goal and blah blah blah, but you still had umpteen chances. Alfredo Morelos, as who was it who put it nicely, talking about the Rangers nightmare, the Celtic nightmare for Alfredo Morelos. If he can't do that, if take any of those chances, even score a penalty, he's gifted this golden opportunity to finally put all this to bed about not scoring against Celtic. And then he misses it. And don't give a crap about Forster being off the line either, because he was not off the line. If you look at the photos, when he steps up to take it, there's actually 2 Rangers players in the box, which isn't allowed. So are we going to flip it and use that as well? No, well, no, because all you're thinking about is Forster apparently being off the line. When Morelos is stepping up, Forster's feet are perched strictly on the line. And I don't want to turn this into an anti-Rangers rant, that's not what I want to do, but it's just with the kind of reception that I've got off of the tweets and such that I've put on Twitter. The Rangers fans who have tweeted, and I understand it's not all Rangers fans, have made it out in ways that it's just not the case. Rangers eventually will one day, whether it be next year, 10 years, 20 years, will be on some form of level where they're winning a title again. They're better than Celtic. It's just nature, it's going to happen. And trust me, ideally I would love Celtic to go and win the title every year until I die. One day Rangers will win the title again. But it's not what Rangers fans and Steven Gerrard make it how close to be. It doesn't matter how you played yesterday. You need to win the game, and that's twice this season. At your own stadium, and in the biggest game in the last 7 years of your club's history, you couldn't get the job done. But who did get the job done? Neil Lennon, Celtic. And that's a big credit to us. I thought Edouard came on off with a little bit as well. Mikey Johnson said, if you're talking about missed chances and thinking about, oh, Morelos just put this one in and blah, blah, blah. Well, if Mikey Johnson went up the park and scored, we'd have been up 2-0. Somehow he fucking missed. But we're not going to agree about it. Because what's done is done. You know, it's over. It really, there's a mentality that comes along with performance. And Celtic's mentality yesterday, whether it was just Forster, you know, saving us umpteen times. And what? He's a champion. He was part of a champion's performance. They got us a cup. I understand it was a rotten performance from Celtic yesterday, but it just shows if Rangers can't beat a Celtic side at 10 men at their worst, there is still work to be done to be anywhere near catching up on Celtic. So we'll see how things change and how things develop over the next 6 months. But right now, we're the ones that took home the cup. I thought on the park there's not too much to talk about. There really isn't. We never had. You know, we had 2 chances really to talk about, and that was the goal, and that was the Mikey Johnson miss. For talking about the offsides, right? Steven Gerrard's demanding for VAR to be brought in, and look, it's football. Everybody's had an offside goal given. Everybody's had a dodgy decision. It's whatever. The referee's performance, I think, as much as I despise Willie Coleman, trust me, I do. I despise him. Rangers fans really slaughtered him yesterday for numerous things. I thought his performance was fine. If anything, I thought he was very, 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 very lenient towards Rangers and gave you a lot your way. So don't let an offside goal change everything. If it even is offside, I mean, there's photos of the hands and stuff, but you know what? If it's offside, it's offside. If we win at the end of the day, I'm not bothered. But no, we talk about the goal being given. You know, it happens in football. I personally never want to see VR up here. Couldn't care if it was Rangers who got that. I wouldn't be leaving that game saying I want VR in Scottish football. I think it drains the life out of it. If you've seen any of English football this season in the Premier League, it has been an absolute farce. It would be useless. It would kill an Old Firm game. It would absolutely kill it. Imagine sitting having to wait, and yes, I probably just went black as anything because the screen's decided to die on me. Then it comes back. Look, decisions will ruin games of football sometimes. For us, it's helped. I don't want to comment if I think it was offside or not offside because we won. And that's how I'm going to end the video. I think that's a good way to end it. Ultimately, Celtic have made history once again. Neil Lennon, thank you very much. God bless you, my sir, my king. And once again, I always extend an apology for everything that I said about Neil Lennon. But you know what? We've won it. Let's celebrate. We're never going to see anything like this ever again. Every time we do something, I say that, but we're not. We're not. This is amazing. Let's cherish it. 10 trophies in a row. It's all about Celtic. And we move forward now. We focus on our next game. We focus on the Europa League. Our season is nice just now. Everything's fallen into place. We're still going to be the champions come the end of the season. I'm confident in it. If you've enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to comment down below as well. Leave your thoughts to my thoughts. Rangers fans, look forward to seeing you. I'm swinging about in excitement here. Right, see you all next time.